My calling to street ministry is such an unusual story for me because I was an attorney. I'd went to law school. Some things started to happen in my life and certainly seeking God in my life, asking Him, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? And we were going to a church that had a morning traditional service with a Sunday school class afterwards and a contemporary service after that, and we were just leaving the traditional service and a homeless person was walking in. One of the ushers had told the person that, well, we're done here, there's nothing else here, and what we knew is that there was a Sunday school class and another worship service to come, and he was turned away, and I just remember his eyes, I remember the brokenness in his face, and he was coming there seeking God. He was coming there to submit his brokenness to God, and he was turned away, and that broke my heart that day. It changed me for the rest of my life. I just completely relived it over and over and over again and asked God why He wanted me to see that. Why did it have to happen? Why is a church like that? And how can the body of Christ be like that? At a Christian bookstore, and I was looking for a book. I had a conversation with a man and I didn't know him, he was a stranger. And he asked me if I was a sheep or a goat. He gave me my own private sermon there in the bookstore on sheep and goats, and he turned the bookshelves into mountains, and on those mountains were sheep on one side and goats on the other, and Christ sat in judgment in between. And he reminded me that there were eternal consequences for what we do, how we take care of the least of these, what we do for the hungry and the naked, and those in prison and the ill. So I had to go ask my wife if it really happened, and I read Matthew 25, and I told her I think that we have to follow through on this. So we did. We started a small street ministry in Oklahoma City to where we offered spiritual encouragement to people who were on the streets, and we listed churches that were glad to have their doors open for people who were homeless, and giving them prayer partners and letting them know that we love them, and feeding them breakfast just right out of the bed of our pickup truck. And then to commit to it once a week and to learn their names and to learn their stories. They all have different names and different stories and different reasons why they are where they are. So the street ministry grew to the point of where we just had a dozen or so in the beginning to where we were having over 80 people meet us on the weekends. I had a friend that I was working with that told me that, well, you know, Jesus House is in need of executive leadership. We were faced with a choice because that was not the practice of law anymore. It wasn't weekend street ministry. We really didn't know if that was the thing to do, so we just gave it to God. We put a couple of fleeces out, so to speak, and He did. He drew me there, and just happy to follow. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Going to law school, thinking I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but really what I had to do was come to a point of self-examination and ask God, what do you want me to do? He's going to have His will accomplished whether if I participate or not. So, but I certainly want to serve the kingdom.